Here we are, this morning update. I believe today is the 16th of June. Um, for the last 4 days, 5 days, anonymous friend has been fighting with his little Chromebook. Right? He had I've alluded to this before, I believe. He had a Gallium OS operating system on it. He took the screw out and he put it in developer mode, and he took off the Chrome OS operating system that was on it. So this is how good he is. You can do this kind of shit, right? And he changed it around and he put a couple of different ones on there. He's had OpenBSD. He's had BSD or FreeBSD. He's had Gallium. He's had a few other ones that I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know that they've been on there. But anyways, he got tired of the one that was on there, the Gallium, because it's, in his words, in his own words, piece of shit. It doesn't fucking always work, and it doesn't do shit that I want to do, and it's not powerful enough, and I need to do this, because he's a serious coder. He's a programmer. He writes patches. He writes code for Google. He's like number 3 on the list for people that contributed to Google's Chrome OS. He's like, I mean,
Chrome OS.
Well, whatever it was.
Chrome Package Manager.
Chrome Package Manager. Yeah, sorry, excuse me. He's a package manager. He's an architect, software designer.
It's not a good. That one's not an official Google product.
Well, anyways, right. For the last week or so, he's been fighting with it, and it got to a point where he almost bricked it, or it was bricked. What it wasn't doing anything, right? And he was getting frustrated, and he was getting aggravated, and he was, and it slowed our production down. It slowed down our productivity, because now we were down to one laptop and a couple of phones, right? And one phone that works. His phone works sometimes because it's a HTC M8 developer model that has a bad battery or something's wrong with it. Every time we try, it makes really great video, right? But every time we try to use it, we get like halfway through a video. It doesn't matter if it's 100% charged, 20% charged, doesn't matter. We get halfway through a video and it shuts itself off because there's something wrong with the battery, right? And then we have another phone, a Unnecto, a little phone, and then another phone like this one, Alcatel One Touch, right? And then we have a iPhone that we found along the highway.
I believe it's iPhone SE.
SE, yeah. That we found on the highway that needs a screen that we know works, right? It just needs a screen, and we're planning on buying a screen for it to repair it, so that, because that one does 4K video. That one would be the tool right there. But anyways, but we were down one laptop, his laptop, and finally last night, yesterday, he did a bunch of reading, and he did a bunch of studying, and he did a bunch of figuring.
Oh no, I gave up and I just watch YouTube all day.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying, but the day before anyway. So then yesterday, and then last night when we got here last night, he had this stroke of brilliance, he had this idea, right? Because he remembered that he had a 30, but he knew all along, he had a 32 gig fucking little mini SD card stuck in the side of his little laptop. Had a bunch of important stuff on it, right? And he came up with this idea, well, you know what? Because he was thinking that I had one of the little adapters, right? That you could plug the little mini S card into, and then you could do this and do that. But he was thinking, but didn't ask me if I had one. He remembered that I did have one at one time or another, right? But somewhere along the line, during all the thieving that was happening to me, it got stolen. But he didn't realize this until last night. We were already here at camp. And finally, when I looked at him, I said, I don't have one. He asked me point blank. I said, I don't have one of those. What the hell are you talking about? Just, when we looked out, I looked through it. I said, no, I don't have one. So he's like, thought about it. He said, well, you still got that little phone? I said, yeah, I still got them little phones. Right, so I opened up my backpack and pulled out the little phone, the little Unnecto. This is the Alcatel that we have. It's like a lot like, this one is a One Touch. That one's a Pixie Unite.
That's the original Pixie.
Yeah, the original Pixie. Yeah, this one is the original Pixie. Anyway, I pulled it out. I gave it to him. I said, here, this has still got power. And he plugged the little, what he did was he plugged the little card into the phone, and then he plugged the phone into my laptop, and he took all the files off of the card, right, and put them onto a hard drive that he has, his little hard drive, his extra hard drive.
That I turned into a Chromebook.
That he turned, and then because he turned my laptop into a Chromebook, he downloaded the Chrome OS onto my laptop, and tricked my laptop into thinking that it was a Chromebook with a 128 gigabyte hard drive, right? Solid state hard drive at that, because my laptop's pretty powerful, right? Anyway, and fooled it, and
then because it was a Chromebook and it synced in all my shit at Starbucks before we left, it had the official Chrome recovery image builder, and since the phone was so old, it has a mode to mount it as a USB stick.
Right.
and that let me use the recovery tool to write out the image onto the card. I booted off the card
into the little Chromebook, and bingo, it fixed it, just like that. Pow. The only thing left to do now is because there's no internet here, but there's a building here somewhere that has it, but they must have turned it off or something because the network wasn't open. So the only thing left to do now is to go back down to Starbucks and connect to the internet and finish doing the install.
Oh, it's finished. I just have to sign into it.
Oh yeah, sync his shit back up to the laptop, and then bingo, he's right. And then this is the cool part. Now this is the cool part. Since he installed the Chrome OS onto my laptop, right now I have Chrome OS and I have Ubuntu 16.04. Now I have two different types of operating system on my laptop, and the Chrome OS makes my laptop more efficient, makes it run better, makes it faster.
I turned it off last night after using it for 3 hours. It still had an hour and 45 minutes left.
And normally, when at full charge, I can only get like 2.5 hours out of it anyway. Right, so it makes it a lot better, you know what I'm saying? So now when we're getting ready to roll up and go down there, right? We're gonna go do some work. Now I'm gonna experiment around with it, right? Because I now have the Chrome OS on my laptop, but I have a full keyboard instead of just a little Chromebook keyboard that I never could figure out. And I have a regular keyboard. And Anonymous Friend played with all the buttons last night to make sure that it all works, everything works, so everything works so I could use it. And I'm gonna experiment with it, and we're gonna see just how efficient this, because we're going to develop a new system for us to work with that makes us even more efficient, makes us even more productive, so now we can get even more done, right? So what we're hoping is that all of this new forward momentum, new forward motion is going to translate into more clicks, more views, more money. So we're hoping that you guys out there are going to start sharing and you're going to start spreading this out, and you say, hey, look at these fucking idiots. They're living in a bush, but look, they're fucking mad fucking coders and programmers, and they're doing all this crazy shit.
We did this before.
We did this before. We lived it under a tree in Phoenix for a year, and Anonymous Friend ran a company that made $10,000 a month. See, every time we've done this, we've thrown everything to the wind and gone and lived under the trees, right? We've always been way productive. We've always done way better, right? It's when we get tied down to a house and to stuff and to people and relationships, and when I get involved with a woman in a relationship, and blah, 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 that tends to slow us all down and fuck us all up, right? But and we lose sight of our goals, and we lose sight of the plans that we make, right? But this time we're totally focused. We're solely committed to this plan, this mad plan that we have. Right? That's only a third. We're only not even quite a third of the way in, because we haven't locked down the revenue stream yet in order to fund the rest of the plan. So we're hoping that we're trying to develop that right now so that we can move forward. So I'm going to conclude today's update with this simple little request. If you guys can help us just simply by sharing our videos, by simply just sharing them on Google+, sharing them on Facebook, sharing them on MySpace, sharing them on whatever social networking platform that you're connected to, Instagram, LinkedIn, there's like, say a few more that I haven't covered. Right? Any ones that you guys are associated with, if you could just share us. Right, you know what I'm saying? Do some clicking, you know, do some watching, do some viewing, do some other stuff, you know what I'm saying, that's associated with watching my videos on YouTube. Right, you know what I'm saying?
And by clicking he means on the cards, the annotations that we've added, and the exit screens that link to other videos that are related to the content.
Yeah, watch some of my playlists. I have over 40 different playlists that you guys I haven't really even skimmed over. Dude, you guys would be surprised to see just exactly how much shit I've made videos about. Right? So anyway, and we're not running out of ideas either. That's not the point. But we're still asking you guys if you have any ideas, if you have anything you would like to see, funny, comic, you understand, serious, technical, right? Bicycle related, cooking related, backpacking related, homeless related, anything, related to anything, related to how to deal with your old lady, related to how to deal with the dog, related to how to deal with the crazy old lady that lives down the street that's always watching you with binoculars. Yeah, I know how to deal with that one too. Right? Give us a call. Give us my email is briannoel49@gmail. You already know my YouTube channel, so good morning. Have a good day. This is me, Brian, and my anonymous friend. Thank you.